circumstances. It's all about circumstances. What makes a really strong image? Not an average good photo, a banger, a masterpiece. Circumstances. When we break it down, it's all about being in the right place at the right time, right? We just have to bring these two things together, place and time. And what would happen if, whenever you go out for photography, landscapes, seascapes, cityscapes, astro, what would happen if, whenever you go out with the camera and you're always in the right place at the right time? How would that affect your photography? My friends, very nice to see you. Being in the right place at the right time. Now, the truth is, it's quite easy to find amazing places. You can search Google, Instagram, Facebook. Studying location guides can also be really useful. Google Maps can be quite a good tip for finding places. That's all easy. Places don't run away. So being in the right place is not the problem. The problem is more being there at the right time. And in a studio, it's quite easy to get the right circumstances for a great image, right? You just have to set the light. But as soon as we go out for photography, nature scenes, we are not able to set the light ourselves, right? I mean, yeah, unless you have a direct connection to the weather god, of course. And the right time is defined just by the weather. So landscape photographers tend to do the most logical thing actually. They use weather apps. But the thing is, in my experience, and I'm doing that already for a while, weather apps are not accurate enough for me. Leave me a comment below how often you stood out in the field with your camera, but the weather forecast was wrong again. 1 out of 10 times, 3 out of 10 times, 5, 6, even more often. Leave me a comment below. Now, weather maps instead are much better for predicting the weather. I'm doing that for years already, and in my experience, in 19 of 20 cases, I'm completely prepared for the weather. 19 out of 20. And I made already a video about that, why weather maps are much more accurate. I will link it in the end of this video. I think it was in 2017 or so when I switched over completely from weather apps to weather maps. And that was a game changer. It helped me simply to get all the stunning photographs. But I want to be honest here with you. As accurate they are, weather maps have also their downsides. Yeah, it's quite difficult to get in. It's quite a big effort. And yeah, they are time consuming. Yeah, if you want to get quality results, you need to observe the weather maps multiple times a day. Not just one map, multiple maps. And you have to understand the relations between all the maps. That's not a problem when you are on holiday or when you don't have much stress in work or so. You could observe the weather maps in your coffee breaks, for instance. That's something I did for years and that definitely works. But as soon as you don't have all too much time in your life, as it is for most of the people, I guess, and I just know that so well for myself, as soon as you have not much time, you will overlook the best weather phenomena. And honestly, exactly that happened to me over and over again. I was able to predict red sky, golden clouds, gappy sky, where light rays can break through, spectacular photos, things like that, and even much more. But as weather maps are that time consuming, I always check them just for 2 or 3 locations at the same time. There was simply not enough time for more. So I looked everything else that happened away from my base locations. And so some years ago, I thought to myself, Christian, what if you would have someone who would be able to read weather maps like I do, who has years of experience in photography as well, and who would overtake simply all that weather planning for me? An amazing dream, isn't it? And every day he would send me a short email with a quick summary of all locations around me where it's very likely to get amazing weather conditions. I was pretty sure about that an employee like that with all the necessary qualifications would be way expensive for me. But many of you might know me just as Christian, the landscape photographer, here on YouTube. But the thing is, I'm also an engineer and also a programmer. I have my own company which develops software, complex database structures, algorithms. Yeah, we analyze our processes in companies, we simplify them, we automate them with software programmed by ourselves, and that already for more than 20 years. So I thought to myself, what if I would have a tool that would analyze the weather maps for me in the same way as I do multiple times a day for all my dream locations around me, for all the weather phenomena that have the potential to lead to banger shots. What if that software would send me that email then once a day with a summary of all my photo locations and weather maps? And yeah, believe it or believe it not, but I developed a tool like that and I call it PHOTRUS. It works worldwide, it's easy to use and it's meant for every skill level. I'm using it myself already for years, so it's even a proven tool actually. I will put you a link down in the description, of course, where you can check it out yourself then. There's also mentioned why it's called PHOTRUS, by the way. Oh no, let's do it differently. Leave me a comment below why you think it's called PHOTRUS. It could really be funny. So, however, with PHOTRUS, I have developed my personal assistant for my weather planning. And I promise you, PHOTRUS can do even much more than that. I'm pretty sure even in your wildest dreams, you would not expect what it is able to do. And which huge advantage it will bring into your photography, not in your wildest dreams. And before I will tell you that, my friends, if you like just that idea, I would really be happy about a thumb up. It really helps me to spread this video out a bit better here on YouTube. Thank you therefore. And just quickly, I started simple with it, that was in 2020, and in the beginning it just informed me about basic weather, you know, fog, mist, cloud inversions, but then I also implemented more complex weather phenomena like red sky, golden clouds, blue hour, for instance, you know, glow, orange stripe, pink stripe and so, but also rainbows, April weather, you know, sunshine and rain at once, things like that. And as in 2023, we got also the chance to get aurora here in middle of Europe, I also added algorithms for aurora prediction, Milky Way meteor showers, and from that point on I wanted to get it complete, and so I also integrated seascape weather like spectacular waves, flat water and things like that. And there are even more phenomena it can do, it's just too much to mention them all here in this video. I really tried to think about everything. And the cool thing about it is, it does not look only on one single point to predict the weather. You know, common weather apps just read out if there is rain predicted for one single point and uses that as reliable data. But that is exactly why weather apps are that often wrong. I mean, it's logical. What is if this field of rain here would come a little bit more here, for instance, or there? The weather always comes a tiny bit shifted, or it comes earlier or later. That is something weather apps simply don't consider. They just read out the raw weather data of very basic weather without any special intelligence or so. But PHOTRUS is not an app, it's an application. What PHOTRUS does is it analyzes the weather also around my photo area. Is there a little fog window of, let's say, 1 by 1 kilometer predicted, for instance? If yes, it knows that it can ignore the weather prediction like that. But if the conditions in a cluster of around hundreds of kilometers around supports the weather for my photo location, it knows that it can trust the prediction. And that is how PHOTRUS works. And that's the reason for its accuracy. And it is even, for some weather phenomena, it even analyzes the weather up to 1,000 kilometers. Because it is not only all about predicting if there will, rise the Milky Way tonight, for instance. That's simple. There are already apps out there that are able to predict the Milky Way rise, for instance. PHOTRUS goes one step further here. It also considers if there are clouds in all the layers, if there is a clear view towards the Milky Way, if the moon isn't too bright for photographing stars, and it even considers how reflective the landscape is. You know, wet or even snow-covered landscape reflects much more light. You see, I really tried to think about everything. And this behavior is given for every single weather phenomenon that gets predicted by PHOTRUS. It does not only predict the weather phenomena themselves, it also considers if it's visible and if the circumstances are great to photograph it. PHOTRUS is simply a weather alert system for outdoor photographers. Landscapes, seascapes, cityscapes, astro. When we break it down, it does exactly the same things I always do by checking the weather maps. PHOTRUS is me actually, just as a software. Yeah, I mean, sounds crazy, but when we break it down, it's really like that. PHOTRUS contains everything I know about weather prediction. Now, I want to be honest here with you. When I started to develop PHOTRUS some years ago, my one and only goal was to save my own time and to be more often out in the field, in the right place, at the right time. That was my one and only goal for myself. But the longer I worked on PHOTRUS, the more phenomena it was able to predict, the more I realized that it would be quite selfish if I would not make this tool also accessible to others. Because it is simply something that is such a huge advantage for everyone who photographs outdoor scenes. But the problem was, as PHOTRUS does not only read out one single point for every location, it analyzes areas of hundreds of kilometers around, so it needs a huge amount of weather data to be processed. And I have to purchase all this weather data, and they cost money. And that's the price I have to pay for this extreme accuracy and the advantage of getting real photography weather in that. And I also need really strong servers to process all that purchased weather data. Again, PHOTRUS analyzes huge areas, not only one single point. I think you got that already. And as I'm not rich and famous, I also can't offer it completely free of charge, of course. That's not possible. So it is not free of charge, though it was really important for me that it is affordable for everyone. It should cost less than a morning coffee. Because again, PHOTRUS is a tool that offers a big advantage for everyone all over the world who photographs landscapes. Everyone should be able to use it independent of how much he or she earns. There's even an option to earn 3 months, by the way. So actually, I'm pretty sure there will be some who will really use it for free in the end. I will put you a link down in the description to the PHOTRUS website. There's one more video on the website, by the way, where I go much more in detail about the tool itself. And there's also an FAQ section, by the way. Friends, leave me a comment. What do you think? Which effect could PHOTRUS have on your particular photography? And also if you have any questions, of course. I have to say, I'm using PHOTRUS already for some years now, and also if no one else would use it, it would anyway be a big success for me, because it saves so much of my time and it brings me again and again in the right place at the right time. And the truth is, it will support me, of course, when you use PHOTRUS. But don't sign up to PHOTRUS just to support me. Sign up to support your own photography. And PHOTRUS is based on weather maps, and I made already a comprehensive video about why weather maps are much more accurate than weather apps. I will link it here for you. And friends, I hope you liked this video. If yes, share it with your friends. I thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.